Well, welcome back, everybody, to another Uninformed Movie Reviews episode 29.
Hey.
Yes, wow. Today we're doing a good old movie quest. Do you know which movie quest we're talking about? Our quest to find out our favorite movies of all time, at least up until this point. Obviously, there's movies we haven't seen, or movies that we have. Oh, no, I messed it up really bad. I'm not going to try and reattempt it. I was just going to go really fast through. Look, here's what's going on. We're trying to find out what our favorite movie of all time is. But instead of just making that list, it seems so inconsequential, so arbitrary. Instead, we're going to first make some sort of bracket. Okay, these are our favorite movies of these genres. And today we have maybe the weirdest genre we've ever had. Movies about dads for dads.
2 degrees of dad.
Yes.
At least.
So not only does the movie have to center around the dad or a fatherly relationship, but it also has to be a movie that your dad would be like, yeah, I want to go see that.
Yeah, for a moment, this was, I guess my first honorable mention, I was like, Big Fish, but Big Fish is really a movie about dads for sons.
Yeah, That's true.
Yeah.
And I think some movies kind of, do both, but Big Fish is definitely a for son movie. Or like for the wife, I don't know. Who's that movie for? Who knows? That's a good movie, man.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Well, you know what? I just want to hear what you have to say, Frank. So why don't we start off with you? Give us your runner-up.
So my runner-up is the number... Oh, man.
Wow.
I almost missed that.
We almost had to delete the whole podcast.
Bang.
I would have gotten to an editing and I was like, where's the click? We got to do it again, guys. So for my runner-up, I have 2000's Meet the Parents.
Wow. I got to be honest, I didn't see this coming.
I figured you guys wouldn't expect this of me. And honestly, when I went to rewatch it, I was like, I hope this is good. And I was like, yeah, it's still pretty funny. It's still pretty awesome.
Yeah, the first one's still real good.
And it's you could argue that Ben Stiller is the main character, but the main goal of this movie is trying to win the father's approval, a la Robert De Niro. And it still holds up pretty well. It's as funny as it was when it came out, I guess is the best way to say
Owen
that.
Wilson is such a scumbag in this movie.
It's great.
That's an impressive thing to say, that it's as funny as it is when it came out.
Yeah.
Especially from 21 years ago.
Yeah, 21. Wow, I feel really tired all of a sudden.
Get yourself a bang.
Bang.
Not a sponsor. Hit me up.
Meet the Parents, rather, has a 7 out of 10.
Wow, we almost hit a hard bleep right there.
Well, no, I almost jumped to the sequel, Meet the Fockers.
Yeah, but you had so much
emphasis in there.
Meet the Parents has a 7 out of 10 on IMDb and 84% on Rotten Tomatoes with its 115-minute runtime.
That's a very surprisingly high number.
Really high
right?
number.
It was written by a team of writers, Greg Jelena and Mary Ruth Clark, who are credited with the characters in the story, and Jim Hurstfield and John Hamburger. I made the joke the whole time, like every time I saw his name, but it's just Hamburg. I can't stop saying hamburger.
Yeah,
now.
I was like, what?
I'm gonna need to get a hamburger after the podcast today. Is directed by Jay Roach, who's been mentioned on the podcast before, who's responsible for the Austin Powers franchise, Mystery Alaska, one of my personal faves, Dinner for Schmucks, and The Campaign, baby.
Oh, that's right.
That's why it's so good. That's why it holds up.
It's got a budget of $55 million that it was made on. Had an opening weekend of $28,623,300.
Wow.
With a worldwide gross of $330,444,045 US American dollars.
Even though I was a Nino when this came out, I still got to see it. I guess I was 9 years old, right?
Yeah, we were all like 9-10 when this came out.
Yeah, this was like a racy movie for us to watch.
Definitely.
When it came out.
But it had so much hype behind it, and rightfully so. But like everyone watched that movie for sure. I feel like most people had seen that movie.
You know what else too? Maybe we see Robert De Niro kind of differently now, but back then it was kind of a big thing for him to be in just such a funny role.
Yeah.
Like he's had some movies that are a little more humorous, but
and I mean he's still playing the straight man in the humor team, but he does a great job.
And he's playing like a Goodfellas-esque character, except instead of being a criminal, he's
an ex-CIA agent whose specialty was sussing out people suspected of being double agents in the CIA.
Yes.
So pretty intense dude. And this movie, it's a Ben Stiller movie, you know? So you're going to see Ben Stiller do his Ben Stiller thing, playing a nervous, neurotic man seeking to gain the approval of his prospective father-in-law in order to propose to his girlfriend. Of course, Greg, the master of playing the nervous, neurotic man, struggles at every opportunity to connect with Jack, Robert De Niro, who is the boss level of disapproving fathers. Like, this guy seems super rough. There's a scene at the end of the movie, and like the resolution, I guess, where Robert De Niro asks him, like, do you want to marry my daughter? And he's like, I mean, I did until I met you. And honestly, like, the thought of being your son-in-law is terrifying. Like, your daughter is the love of my life, and I might be out.
Wow.
This movie gave birth to like one of the most like notorious movie lines of all time.
Which one? Because there's some good ones.
My favorite is obviously... What is it? I've got nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
Yeah, I've definitely got that down in the notes.
That's right.
This movie's like any other movie, just a collection of moments, but I feel like all the comedy moments are really good. That one definitely stands out. I also got Greg's like very first night in the house ends with Robert De Niro hooking him up to a polygraph machine.
Yeah.
And then that's when he learns, like afterwards, he learns that he was a CIA psychological profiler, and he's just like, what? Like, I was nervous when I thought he was like a retired florist, and you're telling me this guy's a CIA operator?
This is like a much more fun version of Get Out.
Yeah.
Hey,
for
yeah,
reals.
you know what?
Some other really awesome ones. They take a trip to Pam, the prospective fiance. They go to her ex-fiance's like luxurious estate, and it's Owen Wilson. Wow,
Wow, you don't say.
got a lot of really like cringy stuff with Owen Wilson. He's like the guy who's like so nice and loves Jesus so much he comes off like a douchebag. You know what I mean? He's a wholesome douche, if you will.
Yeah.
They're playing a volleyball game, and Ben Stiller ends up giving. They're there for a wedding. He gives the bride like a black eye,
sister,
and she's
right?
like, "Yeah, it's Pam's sister. She's bleeding."
Right.
Spikes it.
Oh, it's so good. And right before that, Greg loses his luggage like on the flight down there, so he has no clothes. He's been borrowing clothes this whole time. He borrows some trunks, is what Owen Wilson calls them, but they're like Speedos, like bikini Speedos. When he walks out, at this point in the movie, they suspect that he's a pothead, and they make a joke like, he's like, they ask him, you want salmon or steak? And he's like, I'll take a little bit of both. And he's like, oh, I think they call that the munchies. When I was 9 years old, I assumed that joke somehow had to do with his Speedos and his butt, like munching them in. Like, I thought it was like a wedgie joke, you know what I mean? And it wasn't until years later that I was like, oh.
That's a pot reference.
That's
Okay,
hilarious.
all right.
It's hilarious.
I get that now.
What an interesting association, Frank.
Yeah, right. For the longest time, I thought that joke was about his butt.
He was just really drawn into those Speedos.
Even from a young age, I was obsessed with the butt.
Never changed.
There's another really awesome moment where Greg finally gets a bag delivered from American Airlines. Shout out to American Airlines, I guess.
Not a sponsor, but hit us up.
Who I've seen lose our dear friend's Jake's luggage on more than one
Like
occasion.
3 times.
Dude, it's one of my favorite
I'm sure
things.
it's his fault, really.
To be honest, yeah. I mean,
That man is a walking tornado.
he probably didn't have his name on the luggage, to be honest.
So he finally gets like this luggage. He can't get the lock open. He goes to like call and complain because he realizes this isn't my bag. They screwed me again.
It's out my bag, baby.
Yeah. Robert De Niro comes in, picks the lock, opens it, and it's got some normal, like healthy marital aids. You know what I mean? Like a big old strap on and some leather panties and like a whip. And he's just like, who is this guy who's dating my daughter? The cat, like Greg lets the cat out, and they can't
Snowball,
find
right?
him. Yeah, no, Jinxie cat. Robert De Niro, this super tough dad, he's all about this cat. He like trains him how to poop in the toilet.
Yeah.
They keep making this big deal about like, Greg, the cat couldn't do that. He doesn't have opposable thumbs. He lacks the strength and the opposable thumbs, Greg. We've been over this. But when they figure out the cat's gone, they're like, Robert De Niro is like accosting him, yelling at him, just like, you tried to milk him, didn't you, fucker?
That's
But
right.
yeah, I feel like definitely not one of my favorite movie of all times, but in the realm of movies about dads, for dads, my dad specifically, I feel like if I asked him, hey, you want to watch Meet the Parents right now? He'd be like, yeah, and we'd have a great time.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So this is going to get my runner-up spot. No complaints, really. It's about everything you would expect from
that team.
team.
In that time.
Yeah, that team at that time. You get exactly what you're in for.
But a rare instance of a comedy from 20 years ago that actually holds up.
Yeah,
Doesn't sour that
there's
hard.
nothing in there that like as I got ready to watch it, I was like, all right, so who are we offending? We're offending the transgendered community,
Yeah.
or were you going to offend the
Probably
homosexuals?
just male nurses.
Yeah, just male nurses.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I can live with that.
It's still okay to make fun of male nurses.
In another 10 years, it won't be okay, but right now, it's fine.
still got it.
Let's keep going. Let's fire on it.
But yeah, that's my number 2, gentlemen.
I like that. That's a nice smelling number
Lovely.
2.
Lovely.
And just add a note, it is going to result in some sequels that may or may not be good. I haven't watched them in a long time, but I don't remember enjoying them.
Is there another one after Meet the Fockers?
Oh, yeah. There's-
Little Fockers.
Yeah. Oh. I think there might even be a straight-to-video other one, too.
Oh, God.
I never saw that.
I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that.
No, I mean Little Fockers. I never watched that.
Oh, don't
movie.
watch it.
Yeah, I'll be okay. Well, Danny, why don't you give us your number 2?
Well, this is quite the interesting choice. You all are gonna love it.
We'll be the judges of that.
Yeah.
Specifically, Frank, because it's a movie we've spoken about many a time, but it is not Dude, Where's My Car? It is
What other movie do we talk about?
it is 1997's Face Off.
Yeah, that is a good one.
This movie has a weird history in my life for sure. Let me just start it off by like saying, before we got to a point where we had money, as like my mom raised me as like a single mom and all that, we only had like leftover VHSs and stuff from like stuff that we'd accumulate.
Like that's what you guys ate for dinner?
Yeah. not weenies, just VHS. But this was one of the few VHSs that I had that was just residential in my TV VCR combo that I would put on before sleep like all the time, because I just had this or Jurassic Park, and I had already worn out the Jurassic Park VHS.
Yeah, that'll happen.
And I don't know why this was the other movie. But this movie's not even a great movie, but it is a great movie for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's
uh,
entertaining for sure.
That's the best way to put it, for sure.
Yeah.
This is, for those that don't know, it's 1997, directed by John Woo, a notable Chinese
John who?
director. John Woo.
Oh.
A notable Chinese director known for his high-intensity action sequences. This is his first major Hollywood outing in which he had full control over.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
So basically, if you've never heard of this movie, which I wouldn't blame you, it stars John Travolta, Nicolas Cage, probably the best instance of those two ever being on screen. Travolta plays an FBI agent named Sean Archer, and Cage plays Castor Troy, a terrorist and sworn enemy of John Travolta. 6 years after confrontation between the two resulting in the death of Sean Archer's son, Travolta, Archer's vengeance leads him to raid Troy's gang and arrest Troy and his brother. But Troy makes Archer aware of a bomb in LA that is set to go off in a couple days' time. Is
it on a bus?
This sounds so 90s, right? This is like a clear 90s.
This is like several 90s movies mashed together.
Oh, wait, it gets better. In order to find the location in time, Archer undergoes a top secret, highly experimental face transplant surgery to take Troy's face and voice. Then Troy, who is played by Nicolas Cage, awakens after the surgery, noticing his face is gone. He escapes and gets his gang together to kidnap the doctor who conducted the surgery and forces him to give him Archer's face.
You mean his face is off?
His face is off and then back on with another face. And then they face off.
Then they face off. Yeah, it works on so many levels.
This was a commercial success, noted for its originality, its character performances from both stars, like I said. Definitely over the top, super 90s, great action sequences, real dumb, tons of like WTF moments, super hammy. And just the premise of like undergoing a highly experimental face transplant surgery to like get revenge. I mean, this is clearly like, there are like QAnon theories literally based on this movie of where like Joe Biden is actually Donald Trump with the face-off surgery.
Oh my god!
Like being president.
It's not even possible.
I seen it in 1997's
Wow.
John Woo face-off.
Well, he's got you
No,
there.
I just mean that Joe Biden's got such better posture than
Right,
Donald
and
Trump.
I guess he changed bodies. And,
Yeah,
you know.
that'd be a body off, which doesn't play as well as Face Off. Then just the name doesn't work quite as well.
True.
Why don't you hit us with those numbers?
I was going to
Daddy?
say, speaking of being a commercial success, this 1997 release with its 140-minute runtime, it's a bit of a chunky bit of ham, if you will. It's got a 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb
Wow, that's way higher than I thought.
and a 92% on
What?
Rotten Tomatoes.
No, I don't agree with that at all. Wait, are you sure we're looking at the right one? Did I send you the right one?
A little peek behind the scenes. Danny supplied me with these numbers.
Yes,
here.
this is.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was made on a budget of $80 million.
That is so high for this movie.
It is the 11th highest grossing film of 1997. That is a fun fact, Danny.
Well, 11th is pretty low.
Yeah.
11th is pretty low. But, I mean,
Still.
a lot of movies probably came out that year.
And it made,
Yeah, 97.
like, at least 15, you know?
At least 15 movies.
it
at
made
least.
3 times its worth.
Yeah, it ended up grossing worldwide $248 million.
That's a lot of cheese.
Ooh, that's a lot of cheese. That's a lot of cheddar. That's some.
I mean,
These numbers brought to you by Danny Two Hands.
have you seen this?
yeah, I've seen Face Off. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Great watch.
Can you remember why you seen this movie?
My mom.
Yeah.
See, that's funny. These are all like mom movies. My mom is down for like.
Your mom
Face
loves dad
Off,
movies, though.
Con Air.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Con Air would have been a good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, damn.
Even Air Force One.
I totally forgot about Con Air. What an idiot. Honorable mention.
Dude, Nicolas Cage is in a lot of movies about dads for dads.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a sad dad. A sad dad.
Is he a dad in Wicker Man?
He might be. I don't know. They
I
don't
don't
go into their
think so.
origins. They don't go into the main character's origin.
Yeah, well, he's separated from his wife,
Right? That's kind of it, though.
and she's the one who's living on the island. Yeah, I don't think he does have a kid, but he formed some kind of bond.
Yo, that's going to have to be an RVO coming up.
Okay. Yeah, I've never seen the
I'm
original.
gonna be honest. I don't know if I can do it again.
Dude, the original is amazing.
Dude, I love
the
Wicker Man.
original is so
Yeah,
good.
I mean, I'm not talking about the original. I'm talking about the Nicolas Cage movie.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't know if I can watch that again.
Dude, it's worth it just to
I've
get
only-
to like the ending sequence.
It really wasn't though.
I disagree.
Well, I've only seen it once. You know what I mean? So I'd already seen the bee scene so many times. That movie is
the
painful
birds!
to watch. Like you thought Spiral was boring. No, not Spiral. I'm sorry. You thought Conjuring 3 was boring.
Oh, man. Well, both, really.
We'll be getting there soon.
Oh, we're coming for you. The devil made me do it. We're coming.
We're coming. All right, so here's my runner-up, and just to another peek behind the curtain. I just asked my dad. I was like, "Hey, give me 2 movies about dads for dads," and he was like, "Okay, this one, and then probably this one." I was like, "Which one's first?" He's like, "Oh, this one."
So this one's a little bit our dad's quest.
Yeah,
David's dad's quest to
Yeah.
find his favorite movie
My
of all time.
dad's quest, yeah, exactly. So I just went with his choices, and the first one I have here. Let me just cover this up real quick. Is The Godfather?
Oh, definitely.
The Godfather is runner-up, which actually feels a bit
Can't be the runner-up,
underwhelming.
yeah.
Like, how do you beat one of the best movies of all time? We will. But The Godfather. Okay, well, how do I even summarize a movie that's so synonymous in the world? I mean,
Just give us an acapella cover of the theme.
na, 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 na. Anyway,
All right, my turn.
so the story of The Godfather, you have Don Vito Corleone, who is the patriarch of the Corleone crime family and crime institution. And basically, Marlon Brando, who's Vito Corleone, is getting older and realizes that he needs to pass on the family business. But who do you pass it on to but one of your sons? And does he have sons? Yeah, he's got 3 of them, actually, and a daughter.
Are they fortunate or unfortunate?
Well, one of them is a war veteran, which is interesting. And this is also weird, too, because these guys haven't seen The Godfather, just for you people at home.
You haven't
I
seen
thought
it?
about
Wait,
watching
you
it
haven't seen
to
it?
see if I could
You've
put it
seen
on my
it?
list.
I haven't watched it all the way.
Okay.
Have you?
No, not even a little
Yeah,
bit.
these guys haven't seen The Godfather.
All I have is cultural references.
So I'm trying not to spoil it, but also, I mean, there's so much of it that you already know just from being alive
I don't think it'll spoil anything,
and,
really.
and breathing.
It's more of a watching experience, right?
Yeah, well, so basically, like,
Yeah, are you telling me you're a better storyteller than Martin Scorsese?
Well, this isn't a Martin Scorsese film.
But are you a better story? Answer the question, David.
I don't know. Shutter Island was. I think I could have done a better job.
A lot of people can do a better job than Shutter
Isn't
Island.
this Francis Ford Coppola?
This is Francis Ford Coppola. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So that way, like when you see a hurt animal on screen, you know it's real.
Speaking of Nick Cage.
Speaking of Nick Cage. Oh yeah, weird connection, huh? I didn't even think about that. But yeah, so to try and like sum it up for you guys, I guess. He has 3 sons. He's got one who's a patsy, and he's got one who's hot-headed, and then he has his son Michael Corleone by Al Pacino, who at the beginning of this movie is just like an upstanding guy. He's literally like a World War II hero. He's just come back to the States. He's dating Diane Keaton.
He hadn't started his gender reassignment yet.
No gender reassignment. And he tells, at the beginning of the movie, we're introduced at a wedding. Most of these movies start with weddings, actually. And the thing about it is, like...
You come to me on this, the day of my daughter's wedding.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's part of it, too. We don't have to get too much into the plot, but the thing that I want to get across is just how... Michael is describing the situation of Diane Keaton, who's never met his family before. So she shows up to this giant Italian wedding. Everyone's just drinking and partying and stuff.
Lots of pasta, lots of wine.
And they're kind of at this table, a little bit secluded, and he's pointing at these people saying, like, you know, that's
Vinny.
That's Luca Brasi. Like, you know, if my father needs someone to disappear, he's the man he talks to, and that guy's gone. You know what I mean? And he's approaching it in this way that's like, this is my father's life. This isn't my life, you know? And then to get into the father part of the story, I mean, spoiler alert, the Godfather has to, you know, pass on the torch, and it ends up being Michael. So this is where every, you know...
Is this because Michael's getting made? Is that what
well,
this
no,
is?
it's because he's just getting old. And he's also... There's some other stuff in the movie that I'm not going to ruin, but... some things happen, and basically Michael has to start taking the lead of the family. But he doesn't want this life for his son. This is where the beautiful father stuff comes in.
Oh, we get a little John Tellery up in here?
Yeah, he knows what he's had to do to create this life for his son. But he doesn't want his son to lead that life. He wants him to lead an honest life. And that's the reason why I know you would like this, because Sons of Anarchy is just The Godfather, but over 9 seasons.
Well, lots of things are Hamlet.
A lot more vroom vroom.
Yeah, it's definitely Hamlet, but there is a slight difference in the execution of like a certain character arcs, particularly the fall. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The person who has to compromise their beliefs and then ends up becoming a totally different person, like Breaking Bad or Sons of Anarchy.
Hell yeah, I'll watch all the Godfathers and then watch Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah,
exactly. Right when you think I'm out, they pull me back in. That's exactly
Summer
what it is.
planned out. Let's go.
Yeah, you should. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, the first 2, the third one's kind of lame. I've been over this before, but
They just did that, right?
even the second one. Well, this is actually the third movie. I
Right.
think Frank has my. I don't know if I loaned you The Godfather.
Oh yeah, because we were supposed
Yeah.
to do some bonus content. I should really get on that.
We'll get around to it. But anyway, I haven't watched.
I'll
this
just take it to Colorado with us. We'll get it done.
Oh, dang, that'd be cool. I haven't even watched this yet, so I I'm still behind myself. We're talking about the re-edit of Godfather 3 that came out this year, which is supposed to be like an improvement on the movie. But
The remix.
anyway, like I just love that theme. I think it's perfect for this list because, you know, a father does want a better life for their son. But then we also, little sub theme, we get to see like how a father's actions indirectly affect a child. Like there are actions that your dad takes, things that he tells you, that maybe you walk away with something different than what was presented at face value.
Looking at you, Invincible.
The sins of the father kind of deal.
Sins of the Father for sure. Beautiful movie. I mean, great performances. If you guys watch it, you'll be like, oh yeah, I've seen this 1,000 times. Oh, just one last little tangent. Oh, you know what? Actually, before I go any further, I should let Frank bring it in with the numbers here.
All right, here we go.
Excited.
This 1972 release with its, let me do some quick math really here. Damn, I'm just going to do hours and minutes because another behind the scenes, not a math guy. 2 hours and 58 minutes. 2 minutes shy of a 3-hour tour.
Yeah, I think the second one's like 1 minute shy, I'm pretty sure.
Dang.
It's got a 9.2 out of 10 on IMDb. 97% on Rotten
Wow.
Tomatoes. Pretty good.
I mean, it's kind of weird that Face Off is that close to The Godfather.
Yeah,
in
that's a little
ratings.
Critic scores are weird, man.
Yeah.
Made on a budget of $6 million, drop in the bucket, had an opening weekend of $302,393.
Wow.
$393.
terrible.
Snubbed. Worldwide gross $246,120,986.
It's a little bit of a comeback here.
Yeah.
That's interesting to think such an iconic movie had such a terrible opening weekend. Just an awful opening weekend. I can see why it cost so much, though, because it was like, there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of locations, a lot of people, even a couple special effects for back in the day. Man, there was one more thing I wanted to say about The Godfather before passing this on over to you, and now,
Before you pass the torch.
yeah, before like
On this, the day of our movies
of
for
our-
dads about dads.
podcast. Yes, exactly. Shoot, I really can't think of it. Oh, but all I was going to say, okay. I'm getting there. Just that if you watch the movie and you've never seen it before, you're just going to be like, oh, okay. This reference, you know what I mean? This reference. It was really funny. I watched this with Michelle, the trilogy, like earlier this year. And then we were watching Modern Family of all things.
Hey.
And there's a Modern Family episode that is like a hard Godfather Part 1 reference. Like the whole episode is the Godfather Part 1. It's hilarious. They're even like blocking scenes the same way as the movie.
That's
Man,
really funny.
I need to watch that show. I've only seen a couple episodes here and there when I walk in and someone's watching it, and it's pretty good. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is
good memes.
It is a fun sitcom.
It's got good GIFs. I mean, good GIF reactions
Yeah.
from it.
There's some good stuff there. Anyways, that's pretty much it for The Godfather. Go watch it. James Caan, Al Pacino. What are you missing out on?
Nice pick, David Senior.
Robert
Nice
Duvall. He'll come back.
That is a classic movie for dads.
Yeah.
pick. So my top spot for movies about dads for dads.
Ooh.
I had to give it to National Lampoon's
I knew it.
Christmas Vacation.
Oh,
Slight pivot.
yes.
Yeah.
I was like, are we going
Yes.
vacation?
I
or Christmas
really
vacation?
struggled with the choice. You know
Everyone
what I mean?
knows that
I feel
Christmas
like,
Vacation is better.
dude, it just
than
hits a little bit
Vacation.
harder. I feel like.
Yeah. I don't. Well, oh man.
Also, my dad loves Christmas.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
extra
He
special
does.
for you.
He goes hard on
Man,
Christmas.
I don't know if I could say if one's better than the other, but you watch Christmas Vacation so much more because it's a Christmas movie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I think it's a little more concise than the Vacation
Yeah, it
movie
might
too.
be.
You know what I mean?
well, they're very
Because it's got a uniting theme, I guess.
and they're similar to
Yeah.
like in beats.
Yeah,
But-
very much. Especially like the Dream Lady sequence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to hit it with a good old Chevy Chase, man.
Griswold.
Jeez.
One of the masters of slapstick comedy. Let's get
Too
into
bad
it.
he's such an asshole.
Yeah, that's what every time I was like, man, he's so funny, and then I always think like, oh yeah, but he's
yeah.
like a terrible person.
Yeah.
Released in 1989, has a 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb, a 68% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's
So
way too low.
close.
Wow.
Yeah, give it that extra point.
They
Come
should
on, let's
switch
round
with
it out.
Face Off.
Seriously, how is Face Off beating most of these movies?
Super digestible with its 97-minute runtime. I should have apologized at the beginning. I meant to make a note at the beginning of the episode. Dealing with some really rough allergies. I'm an asthmatic person who doesn't take very good care of my lungs. Vape life. So there's going to be more coughing throughout this episode. I'm sure of it. Written by one John Hughes and directed by Jeremiah Chichik, which is really fun to say. It's got a made on a John Chichik. Made on a budget of $27 million. Had an opening weekend of $11,750,203, but hitting us with that worldwide gross of $73,594,646.
And counting in syndication.
And counting. From the get-go, classic family comedy Christmas movie. We get the opening sequence of Clark and Ellen Griswold torturing their children with their Christmas carols on the way out to the countryside to collect a wild pine in Clark's attempt to kick off his ideal Christmas. It immediately devolves into a road rage incident, and they
Yeah, that's right.
They narrowly avoid death. It's fantastic. It's it's awesome, man. We get the Dream Lady introduced instead of like in traffic because they're not on a road trip. Clark goes Christmas shopping and sees a buxom lady who's actually played by Nicolette Scorsese, which is why I had Martin Scorsese on my brain.
Oh, okay. Wait, his daughter or what?
I don't know.
Who is that?
I didn't care that much. I was like, oh, she's a Scorsese, crazy.
Is she, wait, I'm sorry. Is she related to? Do you know?
I'm looking right
Or is it
now.
just?
I couldn't only assume.
Okay.
We can verify right now,
Okay.
but I
Danny's
was
on
like,
it.
for sure. I was like, this girl got this small part. She's probably related to Martin Scorsese. It's like, oh, my niece is actually trying to get into the acting
She
business.
loves showing undies.
Yeah, she's pretty hot.
That sounds like Scorsese, actually.
Yeah, and in my notes, I had Clark failing to keep his shit together at all in front of the buxom beauty at the mall. Some dads are hoarding goofs too, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
My favorite or my next notable moment is when they're at the house. They know like the family's coming over. The doorbell rings, and they do this fun edit where like the doorbell rings and like dad hears it, and it just sounds like a regular doorbell. The daughter hears it, and it's like a little bit lower, like in pitch. And as it keeps going, it gets like more foreboding and like lower because everyone, the look in their face, they're like, "Oh my god, the grandparents are here!" Like Christmas has begun.
Update: they are not related.
They're not related. Wow. Get out of my notes, idiot.
She is beautiful, though.
Yeah.
Uh-oh,
My goodness.
We've lost Danny for the episode.
Danny has left the chat.
He's gonna be scrolling.
Wow.
Like almost immediately, like the grandparents are super overbearing. You see the pain in the kids' faces. Those actors do a really great job of like being uncomfortable. They're just like, oh my god, get me out of this situation.
Is it weird that I can never remember what Russ's face looks like?
Well, it's because
he's
they have
different
too
in every
many
movie?
Rusties. Yeah.
Or Rusty, sorry.
Yeah. Well, they call him Russ.
They
yeah.
call him Russ.
They
but-
even call him Russell a few times.
Yeah. It really throws me off.
Yeah.
This isn't the Anthony Michael Hall Russ,
No.
right?
No,
because
no.
that's
That's Vacation.
That's European Vacation.
This guy
No.
still
Oh.
acts. What does he do? I had him in my notes earlier.
That's just Vacation.
Yeah. European Vacation is the bass player
That's
from
right.
That Thing You Do.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. That's Vegas Vacation.
That's Vegas. What do they call him? Mr. Papa Giorgio?
Papa Giorgio.
Yeah.
I don't know who is European. I've only seen that one once.
That kid's ugly. They change him around a lot, right?
They really do.
Because they change the kids every time.
Is it
right?
Juliette Lewis the whole time, or is she just
No,
in Christmas?
She's in Christmas and Original Vacation.
Not European Vacation.
Not European, and I don't think she's the one in Vegas either.
No, yeah, she's definitely not the one in Vegas.
But it's always Beverly D'Angelo.
yeah,
That's all that matters,
Beverly
dog.
D'Angelo.
Oh, Clark.
Good old Ellen Griswold. Classic Christmas quote. Juliette Lewis is like complaining to Beverly D'Angelo, and she just tells him like, "Well, I don't know what to say except for it's Christmas and we're all miserable. Like you're gonna have to get over it."
When they're waiting for Clark's like big holiday check.
Dude, like
Oh.
there's so many the whole thing, and I had it in my notes like there's so many moments like this, but there's a scene where they go sledding. Clark works for this company who's developing this like kitchen lubricant that like is super sliding, and he puts it all over the sled and just ends up injuring himself super bad because he has no friction on the snow. Like he burns the sled out. But it really highlights like Clark's ambitions, which is the exact same like drive that Tim the Toolman Taylor has, where he just wants to do everything bigger and better, and it blows up in his face.
Wow, you're right.
You get that with the sled. You get that with the entire Vacation movie, The Trip to Wally World.
Is this just like a 90s dad thing? Like a 90s dad trope we've stumbled upon?
I think so, you
Yeah.
know?
The grandiosity, because it's also the same as Jingle All the Way.
It is.
Speaking of 90s dads, I actually have a couple of dadisms that I picked up in this one.
Okay.
Let's see. Beverly D'Angelo, they're like standing outside waiting for Clark to light up the house, which is like failing. No, this is when they're trying to find the Christmas tree, actually. They're like trekking through the woods to find this tree that they could have just bought at a lot. They actually park next to a lot and then hike out into the woods. But as Ellen Griswold tells Clark, Audrey's frozen from the waist down. And he hits her back with, that's all part of the experience, honey.
right.
What a dad thing to say.
Yeah.
Another good one is he's telling Rusty when they're setting up the Christmas tree or the Christmas lights, like, you want something you can be proud of, don't you? And Rusty tells him, yeah, I guess so. And he's like, sure you do.
Oh, dang. And in that same scene too, just like the dad putting up all that stuff in the most nonsensical way possible.
Yeah.
You know?
There's like that also, he climbs up on this ladder that's extended as far as it can, and then like he lucks out because it unhinges and he falls all the way down, and then he takes a second to look around to see if anybody noticed, and he's like, nah, I totally got away with that. It's really funny. There's one more. Yeah, he's I forget what's happening, but he's like yelling for Rusty, like Rusty, and he's like, Dad, I'm right here. He's like right next to him.
Yes.
Which
Has happened
also
many
happens in Meet the Parents. There's the son Denny, who's like the pothead. He's the reason like they think Ben Stiller's a pothead.
That's right.
But he's like Denny, and he's sitting on the couch right next to him, like, Dad, I'm right here. I thought it was funny. It was in both of the dad movies.
That is good.
You also have like a big part, the hoity-toity neighbors next door that Clark is always, his bumbling antics always end up screwing them over.
I love Elaine in this movie.
I mean, I love Elaine.
Yeah, it's just great.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
The husband, probably not super recognizable, right? I don't remember from anything else. Minimal acting roles, mostly a voice actor. Fun fact, David, wearing your Sons of Anarchy t-shirt. Nicholas Guest, who plays Todd Chester in Christmas Vacation, is the voice of the late John Teller in Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, weird.
Wow.
Yeah, right?
Check that out.
Wow, what a weird. We have so many connections.
Riding through this world.
I love how out of date their house looks. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because
And, like, then it's, like, super modern.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like super modern.
They're super reflective, like silver tracksuits that they
Yeah.
wear, like
Yes.
when they're exercising. Dude, it's so funny. Some of the neighbor scenes are some of the best scenes, man. It's like I think the first one we get is like when Clark is unloading the tree, and the husband is just like, Clark, where are you gonna put a tree that size? And he's like, bend over and I'll show you. And he's like, how could you talk to me like that? And his wife's standing right next to him. He's like, I wasn't talking to you.
Let's go inside.
Yeah, let's go inside.
So funny.
And then, of course, the great, crazy as hell Randy Quaid gets to make an unexpected appearance. And that's just like a whole saga in and of itself.
One of the OG Peeps and Predicts champs.
OG.
Randy Quaid. Got to throw it back to him.
Hey, can I empty my septic tank?
And I think like an OG, that's interesting, from when he was like, he thought the government was out to get him.
he's
and stuff.
he's like floating around the idea of putting in a presidential bid.
Oh my.
I hope he does.
I hope he does
God.
too, because he's an idiot. But oh well.
But yeah, that's going to be my number one slot for movies about dads. For
It is an
dads.
absolutely quintessential dad watch.
Killer list. Killer
for sure,
list.
for sure.
I was going to, you know what is funny? I was thinking about going Vacation.
Yeah. Originally, when I was like, I had the rough draft in my head, it was Vacation. It wasn't until the last moment I was like, Christmas.
So did you rewatch it leading up to this? So you were just watching a Christmas movie in July?
Yeah.
That's
almost.
dope.
Oh, dude,
We're almost
it's
there.
half Christmas.
Half Christmas.
Half Christmas.
Happy half Christmas, everyone.
Happy half Christmas.
Yeah, I was like, this is a very on me move, but here we go.
Yeah. Great movie. Danny.
Well, I went with my number one being a bizarre choice. This will be.
They're always bizarre choices. with you.
I mean, yeah, I always have to
You're
try
a
and
bizarre guy.
pull it from under the rug. 2007's There Will Be Blood.
Ooh,
All right.
just a bastard in a basket.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude.
This.
Didn't we just, I feel like we just talked about this movie on the podcast.
I don't know if we talked
might have
about it on the
been- it might have been a little while
podcast.
ago.
Did we? Because I think I just brought it up that like, oh man, I stayed up late rewatching. I think we were having a chat.
Maybe
about
that's what it was. It's fresh
know?
in my brain for some reason.
Dude, it's so good. I put this movie on because I was like, this is probably my 10th rewatch of this movie, but I just was like, I need something to fall asleep to. I need something nice and slow. I ended up watching the entire thing because it was that good.
You know, so this is a movie I haven't seen, which we've talked about on our resolution episode.
That's what
it was.
So, is this a movie about a dad? Is he the dad?
He is the dad.
Okay.
This
He's
is
an adoptive father.
Yeah, fodder.
Fodder.
He went German for a second.
2007 by P.T.W.S. Anderson.
No. My brain will never keep it straight.
Based on the 1927 Upton Sinclair novel Oil. It features Daniel
Sorry,
Day-Lewis.
that's a crappy name.
Yeah.
There Will Be Blood is so much better than
Oh, seriously,
Oil.
right?
Wow.
Daniel Day-Lewis, probably one of his best roles in his entire career. He plays Daniel Playview, a silver miner turned ruthless oil tycoon with an unquenchable thirst and unquestionable for success and power.
Thirst or Thirst?
Thirst. Sorry.
That's in this.
Man, you Chevy chased your way through that sentence there.
So, yes, it is mostly about. I mean, it's about a lot of things, about like greed and capitalism and
America
and oil tycoons and what's the word? Monopolies. Yeah.
About it, milkshakes.
And yeah, there's a big question of faith, but also Daniel Plainview is actually a really great adopted father for like the majority of the film. I mean,
up until like his son stops serving a purpose for him. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's essentially, it's like it begins with the film with Daniel Plainview being like a caring and compassionate father with his adopted son, HW. He only adopts him after one of his early oil employees is killed in a drilling accident, who has a kid left over at the drilling camp.
But only an early one. Then he realized, I can't keep adopting all these kids. I'm going through people.
He would have probably if it kept happening, because he uses him as basically like a prop for his like family business model that he gets for investors, and he gets to like acquire land with.
It's like tacking on N sons to the end of your company.
Exactly. And he makes HW, like, he kind of mentors him into turning into like this ruthless businessman that he is, but he also makes him like a business partner in all of it.
Oh, how cute.
Which is cool. And then there's
I really like the scene at the end where all the gangs come together and they have the really big fight. There's blood all over the place.
With the flute?
Yeah, and then the soldiers come in, they're like shooting cannons. It's so dope.
I think that's the same movie.
I'm really lost now.
Gangs of New York.
That's Gangs of New York. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's a different movie. I think I've seen this one.
And then, so later, after another on-site accident happens at the oil drill, like they hit a natural gas pocket. There's this huge explosion when HW is like looking over the drill. He gets thrown off like the drilling platform and he becomes deaf.
Oh.
So like it kind of shows Daniel Plainview's like dedication as a father, because he like searches far and wide. He's like, find me whoever I can to come and teach my son how to like speak sign language, how to communicate, how to keep learning, because he couldn't speak to HW and it was like causing all this like frustration and stuff.
That's exactly the word I was thinking, because he's not like
he's not a patient man.
My poor son. He's like, God damn it, kid, just listen.
This guy is a bootstraps, like, can do anything kind of guy. So like any frustration or mild like encumbrance in his life is like definitely frustrating, but he does it also because he cares about HW. But as like, you know, there's a lot more that goes on in the plot for sure. But like later on, eventually Daniel Plainview becomes like a monopolistic, like amazingly successful capitalist who's just like becomes a recluse in his like giant mansion later down the road.
He bootstraps his way straight to the top and is lonely up there.
He
cuts
bootstrap
throats.
boogies his way up to the top.
Exactly. And eventually he's a great father for the entire time until his success like completely consumes him, and he refuses to accept HW's own desires when HW is older to become an independently successful man in his own capitalistic ventures. He wants to become his own oil tycoon, or just, you know, create his own business. Okay. And so he wants to separate from their business. And then Daniel Plainview just like freaks out, totally disowns him, and just like mocks him for being like deaf, and like that's like the last instance you see of him and HW. It's really heartbreaking. And then HW is just basically like, F you, I'm out.
Yeah.
Definitely not a happy, fun time watch.
Oh, the ending is amazing in this movie. I can't really say what happens therefore, but like it's amazing. But that part there on, sorry. Daniel, he like, it's then that moment that HW knows that he's an orphan, because Daniel Plainview just like throws it in his face that he is an orphan, and he just, you know, says he's a bastard in a basket. A bastard in a basket.
Oh, okay. This makes sense.
Yeah. What a great Father's Day movie.
Yeah.
But definitely a good resolution watch. I think, yeah. If you got some time, watch it. It's
right
the
on.
best.
Right on.
This 2007 release has a runtime of 2 hours and 38 minutes. Scored a 8.2 out of 10 on IMDb and a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Pretty solid.
Is it Face Off beats it by 1% on Rotten Tomatoes?
Jeez.
There is no justice in the world. Made on a budget of $25 million. Had a worldwide gross of 60. Damn it. Okay, one more time. $76.2 million.
So not a massive commercial success, but honestly, I mean, this is like a extremely critically acclaimed film. Like, it's an amazing film.
Yeah, the critics acclaimed this one super hard.
Did I say acclaimed?
You did say
What is
acclaimed.
going on today?
You're
I
talking
don't know,
like me
man.
today is what's happening,
Yeah.
man.
It's that bang.
Bang bang.
Bang, bang.
I think that bang might be a dud.
I think it might have hit you in the head a little too hard. I need to watch it still. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
I need to hurry up, and the year's half over, and I still haven't watched, I think, any of my
Dude,
movie
I haven't watched
resolutions.
Fargo. I haven't watched The Godfather. I'm sure there's another one, and I can't remember
I don't
what it
even
is.
remember my other one was either. I was like P.T. Anderson, Scarface. I don't know.
And instead, he watched all the Resident Evils.
Yeah.
Much like our own resolutions.
See, I got P.T. Anderson and Paul W.S. Anderson mixed up.
PTWS.
It happens every time. All right, well, I guess it's time for my top. Here we go. A surprise. My dad told me this was his number one movie about dads for dads. I was like, really? All right.
Beethoven.
It's The Road, y'all.
Whoa.
It's The Road.
That's surprising.
With Viggo Mortensen
Mortenstein.
and Cody Smith McPhee. He's the little boy. Who is Kurt Wagner in the X-Men movies?
Yes.
in the
later
X-Men movies.
Alan Cummings, the original one.
We also have Robert Duvall, who's also in The Godfather, except he's much older in this movie. We got Charlize Theron, who plays the wife,
Forgot about that.
the disaffected wife who abandons their family, I
Old
guess.
flashback wife.
Which is funny because then you know that, like, okay, Cormac McCarthy. I don't know anything about Cormac McCarthy other than that he's a great writer. Can't possibly have a healthy relationship with women. Just like basing it off.
Yeah, if you've seen No Country for Old
Yeah.
Men.
Yeah. It's just one of those
What is
guys.
it like? Shut up, Arlene. You'll find out later.
It's like Martin Scorsese. Like every woman is like weak and backstabbing.
There's a scene in No Country for Old Men, now that I think about it, when like Josh Brolin comes in and he's just like, better shut your mouth before I take you in the back and screw you.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. It's
You gotta talk like that, though, when you have, like, a feminine name as a Western man.
Darlene, I think her name is.
No,
No,
like
his name.
he's Lou Ellen.
Lou Ellen is her.
yeah.
Yeah, it's his name.
So yeah, you can just tell that Cormac McCarthy just got burned or something. Like
Yeah.
So I've never seen this one, but the poster looks a lot like the Book of Eli, and I've seen that one. So
I mean,
Imagine the Book of Eli, but not.
not actiony.
Well, I mean, there's action. It's grounded. If anything, The Road is like Last of Us is really what
okay.
it is.
All
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
Think of like those middle Walking Dead seasons where they're just kind of wandering aimlessly.
All right. Yeah, I've played like the first 40 minutes of gameplay in The Last of Us.
Yeah, and an intensity level that is,
It's very realistic.
yeah, very realistic and very just
Dark.
sad. The
Yeah.
whole movie is down. Literally, I watched this yesterday. I felt myself being down for the rest of the night. I was like, ugh.
I could get into that.
Yeah,
It'll strip you of all hope.
yeah,
for sure.
Who needs it?
Well, I'll try not to spoil too much though, but basically,
You spoil a little bit if you need to. My memory is what it is.
fair enough. Viggo Mortensen is
Old Aragon.
Aragon himself. Strider is journeying across the U.S. We don't really know where he's at, and this is the specifics of the story are not that important. We know there's some kind of bomb, and that the United States is basically just dead. Like the planet is just a withered up husk of what it was.
The wasteland.
There's no birds.
Coming to a planet near you.
Yeah. Hopefully not. There's no bugs. There's no birds. There's no sunlight.
No
It's
animals.
just
Yeah.
everything's gray and dead. And Viggo Mortensen and Charlize Theron are pregnant. And I guess
They're both pregnant?
Yes, she has the baby. Like right after the bombs went off, like they're in their house, and the movie is told in the storyline of like father-son,
Okay.
father protecting son, but then flashbacks of like, okay, where's Charlize Theron at? Where's Mama?
Which is how I thought they were going to do Quiet Place 2, honestly.
Yeah, which is what I thought Quiet Place 2 was
I
going to be too.
assumed that's what we were going to do.
I thought there was going to be way more John Krasinski in that movie.
I'm glad there wasn't. He's great. But
yeah, but it was good pace.
that movie
Good
played out
pacing.
great. That movie's awesome.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Better than something else.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, so we have these flashbacks. We got some great performances from Charlize Theron. But we're learning about the story. She has the baby very early on to when the bomb goes off. So basically this kid is born into the apocalypse. And we pick up the story with, Viggo Mortensen and Cody Smith McPhee heading south, because the only idea is it's too cold. Like, we just have to keep going south and hope that it's warmer.
Which right now it is.
It's
Not a wrong point.
Yeah.
It is a horrific movie.
Yeah.
It's not a horror movie, but it's just one of those deeply uncomfortable and unsettling watches. It's like watching a Darren Aronofsky movie like Requiem for a Dream or something. You watch it.
A lot of despair.
You feel terrible. There's no bright light at the end of the tunnel. It's just weighing on you for however long it is.
I gotta say, I'm stoked to watch this movie.
What an
It's
ending.
great.
Yeah.
And also, there's this sequence that when I saw it in theaters, I was aghast.
Is it what I'm thinking?
It's what you're thinking
Under
of.
the-
I mean, everyone
yeah.
who's seen the movie knows exactly what
Yes.
scene it is.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming. I
Yes.
watched it yesterday.
We read the movie. You read the
I
book.
read the book.
Right? Book's amazing.
Dude, when I saw that scene yesterday, it literally, like, it startled me. Like, I was, like, not ready to watch it again. And I knew what I was going to see. And it still got me. It's so powerful. But anyways, why
Damn,
is
is
it
it that scene where the team comes into the diner in the small town and they're like, we'll serve you food, but you got to eat out back?
Yes. It's in a flashback.
Wait, is that Night Owl in Glory Road too?
Oh, and I didn't tell you, but Viggo Mortensen is also in blackface during the whole movie.
Ooh, that is horrific.
Is that Patrick Wilson in Glory
think it
Road?
might
I
be.
don't
I'm
think
gonna
so.
have to look it up really
He's
quick.
too old, I think. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I've never seen all of Glory Road. I've seen some scenes, and then I was like, I don't care about the story.
I
You
don't
went to
care.
UTEP. You don't have to watch
I was
it.
gonna
Yeah.
say there's too much hope in that for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is. Instead, I'll watch The Road.
Not Glory Road. I'll just take the road. Thank you.
So in the
Talk about a movie pairing, though.
in the yeah right in the
No, yeah, it's not Patrick Wilson.
drop the glory and we'll call it a deal. So there's a great scene in the movie where they meet up with Robert Duvall, who's just this old man who's, hanging on for who knows what reason. What's going on?
What? I tried to, because I jumped over to Glory Road to like see if it was Patrick Wilson, you know what I mean? And then I went to jump back to The Road on my IMDb app, but then I fat fingered it and hit my IMDb app. And then I accidentally put in The Rod, and there is some like Bollywood movie called The Rod from 1988, and I'm just saying we should probably watch that at some point.
Does it have Patrick Wilson in it?
No, not
Damn.
even.
The Rod. Oh, damn. We should do a Bollywood episode.
Dude,
Between
down.
Glory Road and The Rod, you were like 6 degrees of separation from some racy content going on there.
Yeah, something was getting real close.
Oh boy.
NSFW.
Well, that's what like caught me. I like laughed a little bit internally because I was like, The Rod. And I was like, oh my God, there's a movie called The Rod. And then the guy's like on the cover, it looks like a Bollywood action movie. And he's like holding like
my
a
God.
rod.
Dude, some of those Bollywood action movies are just like Indian action movies look insane.
Yeah.
We have to watch some of these. So yeah, there's a scene where Robert Duvall, they meet him on the road. And Robert Duvall says that like, I didn't think I would ever see a child again. I thought he was an angel. And Aragorn is like, he's not just an angel. He in this world he is a god. And then Robert Duvall's like, it's a dangerous and huge task to be a man walking with God in this world or something. I was like, oh my God, this movie's just too intense, dude. And also, I mean, I'm blanking on his name for a second.
Who's that?
Cormac McCarthy. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I lost the name for a bit. Man, Cormac McCarthy is just a fantastic writer. I would almost recommend just read the book
Yeah, the
and
book
then watch
is-
the movie.
Yeah.
But the movie, I gotta say, it's a great book adaptation.
Yes.
I mean, if anything, the pacing is unrelenting in the movie, whereas in the book, it is nice, but you have some down moments where, you're kind of reflecting and
Yeah.
getting to know the characters. The movie is like, get ready, man. Here's what's happening, and you're going to be real sad. through
It's
the whole
just
thing.
strange to see that come to life. I'd read the book a couple years before the Road came out. I was super stoked for the Road. At first, I was initially kind of disappointed with the movie because there's some things it doesn't hit on, obviously, as most book adaptations will. But still, later down the road, it's definitely a better watch.
Down the
down the road.
Hey.
It's amazing. It's really good. The book is a little more crushing, I would say.
You think so?
Pretty sad.
Paper's pretty heavy.
There's something about seeing it. Of course, this gets into the differences in the mediums, I guess. Like,
For sure.
a book, you're imagining things. That's what I mean. I don't know. I hate to say I don't like reading as much as watching a movie, but something about a film and seeing it like actualized.
This isn't uninformed book reviews, you know what I mean?
That's a good point. Well, Frank, why don't you give us these sweet numbers before I hit the last couple things here?
So released in 2009, the year we all graduated. It's got an hour and 59-minute runtime, scored a 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb, 74% on Rotten Tomatoes, pretty consistent
Wow,
there.
Face Off still beats it.
Weird things happen, man. It was made on a budget of scrolling, because I went to the Rod, $25 million budget. Had an opening weekend of $1,502,231 with a worldwide gross of... Man, they barely made it back. $27,639,579.
No one knew what this movie was when it came out.
I feel like I just heard about it right now.
Yeah, it's also incredibly sad. Like, it's not a movie that most people are going to want to watch.
Not like a blockbuster experience.
So just a couple names that I wanted to hit on. The director of this movie is a guy named John Hillcoat. He's an Australian director, and he's known for two pretty big movies. The first one, The Proposition, which is like an Australian Western, essentially. It is a Western movie as we see it, but it's set in Australia in the outback. And
so it's not like The Proposal with with Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds?
No, it's not. It's a very different movie.
All right.
Great, like, Western revenge story. The Proposition is it's excellent. And then we have Lawless with
that one's fun.
I've been wanting to watch it and I haven't seen it, but it's Tom Hardy and Shia LaBeouf.
Dude, that's a great movie.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
So
who's the sultry redhead in that movie?
It's one of those people who looks the same. Jessica Chastain. There's like six girls who all look exactly like
Dallas Howard and Bryce Dallas Howard and Jessica Chastain look exactly like.
Amy Adams is like in there.
That too. And Isla Fisher.
Jenna Fisher.
Oh yeah. They do look exactly like Amy Adams and Jenna Fisher.
Yeah, she's Hot Pam.
She is Hot Pam.
Guy Pearce is also in Lawless, which is a connection to The Road. He shows up in The Road. He's got a small role. Another person who's got a tiny role in The Road. I'm getting my words mixed up over here.
I mean, it's always nice when a director has like their team, because these people, like, they have learned each other's like languages and stuff. Everybody knows what they expect about each other. That's a good recipe.
They're just comfortable. They're like, this is going to be good. Yeah. We also have Molly Parker, who plays the motherly woman in this movie, but she's in Deadwood, which is an excellent film, and also in the Wicker Man reboot.
Hey.
And lastly, Garrett Dillahunt in one of his first roles. This is a guy who I didn't even know who he was for a long time, but now he's just been showing up like over and over again in things that we're watching. And I should say one of his first roles, but it's like one of his earlier roles. A weird thing is he does have a bit part in No Country for Old Men. I don't remember exactly. His name is Wendell. I don't remember what role it is in that movie.
Which actor?
Wendell.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Wendell.
The actor's name is Garrett Dillahunt. He's this guy. He's in.
I'm pretty sure Wendell.
He's the deputy.
He's the deputy.
He's in Fear the Walking Dead.
He's
he
also
plays
in
like
Army
a
of the
deputy.
Dead. Yeah.
And,
he's in Army of the Dead.
Raising Amy.
He's also going to be in Avatar 2.
He's
Raising Hope.
He's actually got a pretty good range.
He's cool,
he's
man.
He's a good actor. He's got a
And
scary face. He's got a weird face.
Weird thing, like one of the best Walking Dead characters in a long time. And Fear the Walking Dead is just so weird. That show has gotten better than Walking Dead.
That's so strange.
It's weird what's going on in the Walking Dead universe, but the series right now, the season right now,
did it end yet?
Is good.
The Walking Dead?
No, none of it's over, I guess.
What?
Except for the third spinoff, which apparently didn't do very well.
Which one was that?
The World Beyond. I don't think anyone even heard of this. I mean, I don't even remember when they put it on TV. Like, it wasn't even like I remember they announced it, and then I was like, oh, the show already finished its season, and apparently it was awful. It was
even worse than
it was a kid-centric Walking Dead. It was like Walking Dead / Stranger Things.
Oh, so it's Gen Z Walking Dead.
Yeah, it's set in the future, years after which you guys haven't finished reading Walking Dead, but there's a big old time jump at the end.
Really?
I was gonna say I was so stoked to like finish Walking Dead when it was over, and then I edited your and Brandon's episode when ACC was still like part of the
Forgot
channel.
about that,
You hit
yeah.
the
And I was
spoiler?
like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, well, this is my own damn fault.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you heard the spoiler of how The Walking Dead ends?
I mean, I know the entire story of The Walking Dead.
Oh,
yeah.
darn, I don't. Interesting.
Well, more or less, Walking Dead World Beyond was set like way, way, way in advance. But anyway, we don't have to get too much into Walking Dead. See, that'd be a good dad story too. But yeah,
Coral.
I guess that kind of wraps up our talk about dad movies. Man, we have a pretty good list here. I feel like something for everybody.
Yeah.
We got some serious movies.
There's
some
one for
sad
every
movies,
mood.
The funnies, the Christmases, the wacky actions. I guess something for everybody. Well, I say we move on, guys, and I say we get to character limit.
The devil made me done it.
Wow. Okay, so I guess traditionally it starts with me, right? Like it starts with whoever had
Yeah,
the
you had the Hemingway, right? Hit it up.
Man, the Hemingway. Oh, geez. Okay, so the movie starts, and the first thing I notice is that they are going in a different. They're going with different story beats. I think Conjuring 2 is a pretty good sequel. I mean, it's not amazing.
I feel like that's the best way to put it, David.
It's definitely muddied at the end of it. That's where really that movie loses points for me. But as a sequel, it hits those beats. It's like, okay, here's our introductory scene. Here's the Warrens. Here's some case they're working on. Okay, here's the family in need. Let's get acquainted with the family. We have to have that escalation of horrific events. And then, okay, here's the Warrens. They're stepping in. And now we're going to come to some kind of big Ghostbusters-esque conclusion.
Yeah.
This movie doesn't do that. And I think it really... You know, it's weird because, yeah, do new things in your sequels. Don't just keep remaking the same movie like Saw. But at least you can say the first 4 Saw movies are all pretty good.
Yeah,
Whereas, like,
because they follow a formula.
they follow a formula that doesn't go too far. So, like, this one, we were introduced almost immediately to the family. And I don't really remember any of these people's names, and I don't care.
No one cares. Yeah, that's the problem, too, man.
Can I shout out your unused Hemingway that was my personal favorite?
We should
yeah.
list them all, to be honest.
I don't care about this family.
You forget about the family by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, because it's a little convoluted too, this isn't their fault. This is how the story goes.
The convoluted.
The convoluted. Oh dang, it's going. They have a young boy, like a family, a small family moves into a house. There's spooky things there. A young boy is possessed, and the movie opens up on them exorcising this demon
Out of this boy.
again, like just
Saving this boy's soul.
it's one of those classic it's one of those oh well, we just got to do it right now, you know what I mean? Like all these movies always are.
Oh, the priest got knocked out. I'll do it. What
Okay.
a radical idea.
Wow, are you sure you're gonna be able to do this?
Yeah, I mean, I did the last one, right? It went all right.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Followed up by that, preceded by that super on the nose exorcist.
Oh yeah.
Shout out that was just annoyingly on the nose.
They're really going hard on the Exorcist reference in this one. But so basically, like, the demon gets transferred to not the little boy, but his sister's boyfriend, who is trying to save the little boy, and then he ends up murdering someone. Devil made him do it, and we kind of we don't follow them again.
Yeah.
Like, we see a couple shots of this guy in like an insane asylum with some guy who looks a lot like Sean Bean. He's not him, but he looks a lot like him.
We get like a prison visit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That whole storyline is dropped, and then in its place, it's just this slow investigation of the Warrens. It turns into like Silence of the Lambs, but uninteresting.
Yeah.
Plus the storyline of one of the biggest killers in America, heart disease.
Yeah.
Which was like, really, was it necessary? I think all these other reviews I've been seeing have been like, I really like that they, put in Ed Warren's heart drama and the entire thing. I'm like, really? What did it matter?
Yeah.
If anything, it was like an encumbrance.
And it doesn't pay off. That's
No.
the biggest
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It's like he should have died then.
You want to do that. Well, and it gets complicated too, because like you can't just write in Ed Warren's death when he's a real person.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
And then they try to make it like that a demon did it to him. You know what I mean? The demon grabs
Yeah.
him. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take your heart." And I think after the movie, I was like, "Nah, like in this universe, I'm sure that demon jumped on him." He was like, "Oh, this guy's got a bad ticker. I'm gonna mess with him and make
Yeah.
him think I did it."
Yeah.
Well, especially that like Patrick Wilson's a bit too hot and too in shape to be playing a guy with heart problems.
Does
you know what I mean?
not look like the actual Ed Warren.
Yeah.
Ed Warren looks like he ate a lot of cheeseburgers.
Well, it's funny because in the Conjuring movies, they show you the pictures of the real people at the end. And he was a little more in shape when the pictures from A Conjuring 1 were around. But by the time we're getting to this case, I guess it's much later in
They're
the Warren's
old.
career.
Dude, you know what I mean? You're traveling on the road. You're
Yeah.
eating junk food.
Yeah, you're stopping
That is what it is.
You're stopping at some truck stop diner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to get on him, but when you have Patrick Wilson, who's just like super in shape, looks like he could be a watchman. I don't know why, but he just looks that way.
or an Elvis impersonator.
Or an Elvis impersonator. Well, not all Elvises, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of those Elvises are pretty out of shape, too.
Maybe a Jersey City Elvis impersonator.
yeah,
and
So are a
not
lot of
Vegas.
Elvis impersonators, a la Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, yeah, right? Well, it depends on your, are you 50s Elvis or 70s Elvis? And then you know what you're going to get. Is it GI Elvis or Graceland Elvis? But anyway, yeah, man. Okay, so positives, though, because I feel like I didn't get to have any positives. I love Vera Farmiga's outfits in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the costuming for the Warrens. I think it's very interesting. I love the aesthetic of the Conjuring
The
movies.
cinematography is good too.
All this like Satanist stuff that they have in this one. This like
Yeah, the totems were cool.
Totem was really
You
cool.
gotta give it to
Reminded
the
me
totems.
of Dead by Daylight. I saw the
Yes.
totem and I was like,
Oh.
oh, I know that totem.
It's very Dead by Daylight. It's like,
Yeah.
let me crush this so I can weaken the killer.
Exactly.
It's exactly what happens. But I mean, the scares just aren't there for me, and
It's so lame.
I can't get behind it. It's boring.
It's super boring. We were waiting. I mean, I wasn't even watching it. I watched this on the same night as you guys.
Yeah.
But we weren't watching it together. And I like knew like halfway through this movie, I was like, man, these guys must be bored in the theater. But you're right. I mean, there are positives. I have no like qualms against Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson's like on-screen relationship. That's what keeps a lot of this movie going and this series going for sure. And it's the reason why I probably give another movie a chance to redeem itself. This is definitely a faltering off though. Like I would definitely put this like there's La Llorona and then there's this movie and then there's The Nun, which was like one of the worst in this entire thing.
So I haven't seen the worst of the worst from the series.
Yeah.
I've seen The Nun.
Yeah.
Ugh. Is it?
Pretty forgettable.
There's at least a scary sequence in The Nun. There's at least one.
Here's the thing for me though, and I know you're really going to disagree with this, but to me, Conjuring 2 and 3 are both pretty like, but in different ways.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know if I would say 3 is worse than 2. It's just boring.
It's just boring.
Whereas 2 is like hokey and ridiculous. At least this one is taking itself a little more seriously, I guess.
Yeah.
Although some of the heart stuff does come off really, really pretty cheesy.
Just
The
heavy-handed,
heart stuff
yeah.
and then like the hope and love will conquer all stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like in the first one, we get it at the end,
Yeah.
right, like where it belongs. The second one, it's kind of through the whole thing, you know. And from the moment that Vera Farmiga meets like the little haunted girl, she's like, if you just hope and love, you got people around you, you'll get through it, you know.
Yeah.
But this one, it's like Jesus Christ, like, all right, I get it.
You said one person can make a change in somebody's life. Well, I've got 2.
No,
And-
God.
Even as far as like the real world implications of these movies, like in the Enfield Poltergeist, which is the one that the Conjuring 2 is based off of, the Warrens did make contact with it. Hardly. Like they hardly make contact in England and then they kind of bailed out of it. But in the third one, they didn't make contact, I don't think at all with Arnie Johnson or...
Weren't they though? I don't know.
I don't know. I actually didn't
You
think
guys-
to do any research.
you
I
guys
was pretty
talked
upset about
it.
watching this.
Shout out to our last Conjuring episode.
Yeah, go watch that.
You guys had already done the research last time because Danny was talking about that movie coming out in the future.
Right.
You were like, yeah, it's going to come out in 2019 or something like
Yeah.
that. Or like it was early 2020.
God, we had no idea.
Yeah, we had no idea. That was a pretty fun podcast, actually.
That was like
It
on
funny to
Halloween
laugh about.
2019-ish. No.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Somewhere around there. But the other thing too is it's advertised as like the trailer makes it seem like the Warrens are going to be in the courtroom and here comes our evidence and let's put this like,
I thought this was going to be a courtroom drama kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like we were going to get the exorcism of Emily Rose treatment.
Exactly. Like we got footage because the Warrens, they always got those cameras. They never catch
Apparently.
anything. But it's just like, here's footage of the exorcism that we did. And now we can, we're going to show it to the court to make them believe and we'll do testimony. We'll do, very heated and passionate testimony from the stand. And it's like, no, there's like 2 courtroom scenes and the Warrens are like not even there or in the background. They have nothing
Well, one of
to do
them's not
with
even
it.
a courtroom scene. They're like in the
Lawyer's
attorney's
office, right?
office. Yeah.
Yeah. And they say, like, spend the night at our house and we'll show you Annabelle or something. And we'll show you, again, how we prove the demonic exists all the time, which is a stupid line.
We've proven the demonics exist hundreds of times. Like,
But honestly, that would have been a more interesting scene to see her spend the night at the Warrens' house than when they go into this arbitrary secondary side mission where they have to, like... find this dead girl's body, which is like not even the main plot of the entire movie.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
They want a police report, so they go talk to the cop, and the cop's like, well, if you do something for me, I'll do something for
It's
you.
like a side mission on a video game.
It literally is. Like, especially in like a Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, before we can do our next mission, you got to go help out this homie over here. And you're like, all right, I guess. Let me go meet this new guy.
Lamar needs help.
Yeah.
And that drags on so long that by the time you get back to Arnie Johnson, you're just like, wait. Why did they need to go to that?
Yeah.
do
What's
that?
up with this gross looking sweaty dude again?
Yeah. Who you don't care about. None of the character portrayals at all matter.
Shout out to the 2 big role changes on this one. Well, anti-shout out really to David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick, the writer, and Michael Chaves, the new director for this
Michael
one.
Chaves, man.
Don't worry about your F-bomb earlier because I'm gonna have to edit this one too. You.
Yeah, I ruined it.
Yeah.
They give the third sequel, I guess you'd say, to like the movies that are propelling this universe forward to like the novice filmmaker that made arguably the worst one in the series. You know what I mean?
To me, this is going to be like, this is a coming to the end of the Conjuring series because these are your mainstays. 2 is a little lukewarm. Tons of people still liked it. You could have come back with 3 and hit it even better and really maybe got a lot. I mean, there'll be a few more Conjuring related movies because they can still squeeze a little bit out, but it usually doesn't recover from this.
I am surprised. We say this and we really hate on this movie. I am surprised at the reviews that are out for this movie. This movie's got like 65%, like a 7 out of 10 or something.
It's got a 6.5 out of 10
like,
currently.
What?
It's weird.
What movie were they watching? And people were always just like, I've seen people just like raving about it, like, oh, it's so different and it takes a better approach and there's such a great heart filled. And I'm like, what?
There's one of my coworkers had mentioned, really, I'm surprised you disliked it so much. One of my homies was telling me they really enjoyed it. And I was like, well, at least you can't trust that person's opinion anymore.
That's true.
Because this movie sucks.
And it's bloated. It's so long.
Yeah.
And here's my pretentious take of the day. I mean, I think a lot of people might enjoy this movie, but the issue is that the story arcs are all over the place and they're not crafted well. The pacing's all off. Like, from a movie standpoint, it's a mess. And I think some people don't kind of care about that or pay attention to it, which, enjoy what you want to enjoy. But when you compare it to like Conjuring 1, which is just a tight movie.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would bet if we ran it through
unrelenting.
like our grading rubric, it would not do well.
No.
It would score extremely low.
Yeah, it would.
I mean, kudos where it's due for trying something different, but it just did not pan out.
Nope. I gotta say.
This is definitely the Saw final chapter of this series.
Dang, that's pretty harsh.
Yeah.
I would say it's the Saw 6.
Hey.
No, I'm sorry.
Saw 6
is the good
Saw
one.
6
was
Saw
dope.
5.
Saw 5.
Yeah.
There you
It's
go.
really boring. There's characters I don't like. There's still some okay stuff, I guess. But we'll get 7, girl. We're getting there. We'll get final chapter.
We'll see. They'll have to come back from this one to make me interested again, sadly. I really like this one. I like the series, sorry.
I just got to say, too, we've hit 3 horror movies in a row just as, like, people watching them. We had Spiral, Quiet Place 2, and then we have Conjuring 3. Man, Quiet Place 2 is just so much better than all these other movies.
Awesome.
Yep. It is just a solid sequel by any standard. And
It
it's
even does a great job of what you want from a sequel
Yeah.
involving monsters and giving you more of the rules.
One of the best movies I've seen in the last year, for sure. Like
it's high praise. It's good stuff.
It's good. It's amazingly
stuff.
good, and I honestly got a little tiresome from like watching a Quiet Place Part 1 again in preparation for Part 2 because I was like, okay, I've seen it. How can you make this any better? You know what I mean? And they did.
Yeah. Yeah, they really do. So, yeah, go skip Conjuring 3. Go watch Quiet Place 2.
Yeah, give John Krasinski your money.
He deserves it, old Jimbo.
Big Tuna. Well,
Jimothy.
that means it's time for... Oh, that's interesting.
How very interesting. I
Oh, it's
wonder
been a while.
Who's got the story for us today? Oh, it's me.
It's Frank.
Hello, it's me, your old pal Frank, talking about a little bit of John Wick 4 news.
Oh, Jeebus.
Boom, 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 boom.
I'm taking this from ScreenRant.com. John Wick 4 casts It star Bill Skarsgård in mystery role.
Interesting.
He's the bad guy.
Well, let me show you the picture of him. This little still here.
Oh, yeah.
Huh. He looks
Possible
kinda
white
like I was
supremacist,
gonna
maybe?
say, he looks like a White Kingdom kind of guy.
Yeah, he could have been one of Chester's friends in that Saw movie.
Yeah.
John Wick 4 cast Bill Skarsgård in a mystery role. At one point, the highly anticipated action sequel was slated to come out this summer, but it was one of many projects affected by the coronavirus pandemic. Never heard of it. After seeing its release date delayed to May 2022, the film has gotten back on track. John Wick 4 is scheduled to start production this month with globe-trotting shoot that will take the cast and crew to locations such as New York and Japan. Wow, those are pretty big cities. Ahead of principal photography director Chad Stahelski, I don't know, that last name's a little bit too white for me. I'm struggling here. Has recently spent time filling out supporting cast around returning star Keanu Reeves. So far, he's recruited Rina Sawayama, Shamir Anderson, and Donnie Yen to the ensemble, with Yen said to be playing a character who's an old friend of John Wick's, as you do in a John Wick film.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. I bet they have a complicated history.
Who's the girl in 3 again?
Catwoman.
Yeah, Halle Berry.
That's right.
He's going to be the Halle Berry of this movie.
All these promise to be exciting additions to the John Wick universe, and they're said to be joined by at least one more big name, a la Alexander Skarsgård. They're, as far as his involvement, no information. So we'll see what he does. I bet he'll just be a baddie or somebody he sees for something, you know what I mean? A favor.
I feel like he's a bit too big now to be a minor role. He's so hot right now, you know what I mean?
That Bill Skarsgård. So hot right now.
I feel like he could definitely be the baddie. Of course, where's the story going again? He's shut down.
The Killer Association or something?
Yeah. So now...
Aren't they coming after him? That was Parabellum, right?
Yeah, Parabellum, they're coming after him, and then he kills a bunch of them, and I think now it's like the people ahead
They
of
just
that.
basically said, hey, you can go now, right? Didn't he like settle differences with the third
No, I
one?
think he's like going to war now, isn't
Yeah,
it?
Okay, okay.
It's like all out war at this point. He settles it with the
hotel
leader of the
owner.
Continental.
Right.
Continental.
And then
I
they
couldn't
kind of
think the
team
word.
up like, well, we got bigger fish to fry now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now it's like us against everyone.
Yeah. At least he has a team. I mean, he made it through Parabellum.
They should give up the other group. Like,
Dude.
guys.
Well, once they hear about what happened in that that history that museum in the weapon place,
Yeah.
they see all those knives all over the place.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? We should probably let this slide.
Yeah, we'll make an exception this one time because we don't want everyone to die.
But very stoked to watch that movie, man.
Man, I'm
Definitely.
super stoked. I'm stoked for Godfather for Matrix 4.
I
It's
was
supposed to be
just
the
going to
same
say.
day. That's when they
Interesting.
originally slated. They originally slated to come out on the exact same day.
It's crazy because I was going to say in other Keanu Reeves news, like I'm extremely excited for the Matrix 4.
Yeah.
Like the cast of the Matrix 4 keeps getting bigger. Like they got Carrie Ann Moss, they got Keanu Reeves, they got Neil Patrick Harris, they got Jada Pinkett Smith, they got Yahya Abdul Mateen from the Watchmen series.
Oh, that guy's great.
Yep, and they've got they got Christina Ricci in there, and I think there's another person I can't remember, but I mean, it's gonna be awesome.
You hummed at Jada Pinkett Smith, but it could be worse. Could be Jaden.
Could be worse.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
could.
you don't want that.
I'm just like, I'm kind of over the Smiths.
Yeah.
Will included. I'm sorry, Will.
But I got to say, thinking about a new Matrix just gets me super excited.
It's cool. Although hot take. John Wick trilogy is better than the Matrix trilogy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm more excited about John Wick as well, David.
Yeah. Like, I think Matrix 4 could be really, really interesting, but I'm predicting big old soft reboot.
Yeah, it'll probably be a soft reboot.
They're going to soft reboot it so hard, and they're going to give it to Christina Ricci. She's going to be the new star of the Matrix. She's going to be the child of the one who ends up being called the many. And then the Matrix is going to revive itself because we've repeated the whole cycle over
You know
again.
what?
You've
I
heard
wonder
it
who
here
the
first,
new-
folks.
I wonder who the new agents will be. You think it'll be Neil Patrick Harris?
Not evil enough. Neil Patrick Harris will play like a
I don't know. He
computery
looked
guy.
pretty Nazi-ish in Starship Troopers.
Yeah, that's true. But he doesn't have the face for it.
No, he's so cute.
He's too cute. He's going to be like a tank. He's going to be like the computer guy from
Okay.
the first movie. Christina Ricci will be related to Carrie Ann Moss and John Wick. No Lawrence Fishburne? Did he die in The Matrix? I
He
don't even
does
remember. It's been a long time.
I'm pretty sure he dies in the
3?
second or third one.
Did
third
he die in John Wick 3? Or does he make it out at
Oh,
the
I
end?
forget. He's in that movie too.
No, he makes it out. He gets pretty messed
Yeah.
up, but he makes it out.
Is he Pigeon Man?
He's
Yeah,
Pigeon
he's
Man.
Pigeon Man.
Oh, that's right. He's Pigeon Man.
Yeah, he's reprising the role
Birdman.
of that old lady from Home Alone 2. It's the same character, actually.
Yeah,
It's just recast as Lawrence Fishburne.
That's hilarious.
Wachowski's a back.
Jada Pinkett Smith will play some sort of like fortune teller lady. Or maybe like a ship captain. She's got that commanding nature to her. She'll be Lawrence Fishburne. Jada Pinkett Smith. That's my predictions. I don't know why I'm giving them. Frank, that was quite interesting. Danny, your supplemental interesting. Also very interesting. I'll throw in a third one too because we're talking about Willy Wonka. Whoa, plot twist. What?
yeah, 3 degrees of interesting.
Oh, no. Aren't they doing a series?
Wait. They're doing a Willy Wonka prequel, Young Wonka,
no, I don't want to know.
starring
Stop.
Timothy Chalamet.
Why?
Which one's he?
He's
Who's
the
he?
one from Call Me By Your Name, right?
I don't know what movie that is.
Yeah, I feel like I've
Not a
never heard of that
teenage
before.
girl, Danny.
What?
Danny and those teen novels.
He's
he
in
loves them.
Lady Bird. He's in
He's
Little
going to be in the
Women.
new Dune, too. He looks cool in the new
He's
Dune.
going to be in Dune. Yeah.
What else is he in?
I don't know if you've seen anything that he's in, Frank.
Lady Bird? Oh, yeah, we just said Lady Bird, right?
Yeah.
I never seen Lady Bird. The only
Bird's
Lady
great.
Bird I know is
Lady Bird.
Lady Bird.
He's in The King, which is another movie. He's in Interstellar. I don't know what role he plays in
I
Interstellar.
don't remember him being in that movie. He's like a baby in that
I
movie.
think he was his, like Anthony. No, what's his name's? Oh my God, Matthew McConaughey's son. I think.
What's
he's
this
Matthew
guy's name again?
McConaughey's son.
Timothy what?
Timothy Chalamet.
Chalamet.
He's going to be in the new Wes Anderson flick.
Oh.
It's funny because this student in my last period of class.
Timothy with 2 E's? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Frenchman. This guy looks pretty French.
Very French. I have this student in my last class of the day who likes to write things on the board, like her wisdoms that she's passing on to the next class. Like a few weeks ago, she was like, if you're doing a TikTok and you have LED lights hanging in your room, just stop. I was like, all right.
Wow.
She put on literally last week, Timothy Chalamet is my favorite lesbian.
Not wrong.
Got him.
Like, shoot, I need to get you on the podcast.
You know what? This
once
guy
you
looks a
graduate.
little
This
bit
is
like
good.
Mary before she grew her hair out all the way.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I can't wait to edit together a Mary, Timothy Chalamet side by side.
We'll make it work.
Now we just need to find a movie about a band that stars Timothy Chalamet that we can
That's how we shoehorn it in.
review. Boom.
I just scrolled through his IMDb. I didn't see anything band related yet.
It'll happen, and that's how we schedule by jokes.
I think Dune counts as it because it had Sting before. There you go.
Really
A
pushing this.
stretch, but I'll take it.
Yes, I'll take a stretch. Okay, well, everyone, we're here at the end of the podcast. How exciting. We're in a slightly different corner today. I hope you've enjoyed this shot. We got a new camera, too. Just throwing this out here.
So coming at you in high def.
Hopefully it'll look
For
nicer. We'll
King
find out.
Low.
But it's Peeps and Predicts time. The thing most constant about our entire channel, really.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably the thing we've done the longest.
Yeah. So Peeps and Predicts, it's a debating activity for everyone.
How
Kids
fun.
of all ages.
Like a club cloodle, if you will.
A pause for a fun-filled event. Play along at home and send us your arguments to uninformedmoviereviews@gmail.com.
There you go.
I was about to say David and Frank and Beans.
It's a old habit.
It's throwing me off. Uninformedmoviereviews@gmail.com. Or hit us up on any social media. Or
If you see us in the street, just start yelling at us.
drop us a comment. We don't get enough comments, y'all. Just put it on the YouTube video. We'll read it. I'll be so excited. Yeah. We actually got a comment on D-Day
Hey.
about on our review of Overlord.
Oh, at least it wasn't our one serious segment that we ever did, our gun control debate.
Now there's probably one on there too, but
I wish it was on Downfall too.
that'd been funny. But Overlord is Operation Overlord. It is D-Day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just cracked me up. This guy was just like, man, I love this movie. I was like, you know what? I do too.
Thank you, random fan.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
We need more engagement.
Yeah.
Hit us up.
Yeah, hit us up. Hit us up in the comments if you're still listening. We'd love to read what you got and reply to you post-haste.
We're a little snarky.
Where am I at, though? Yeah, we're doing peeps and predicts. It's time to check our peeps for the day. I'll pass ye gentlemen ye old predicts jar.
Damn, David, I never realized that your Hydro Flask is within our official colors.
Bro,
Good
that's
on
why
you.
I have it. That's why. Oops.
I need to get like an orange or a green one.
Dang, imagine if we got like 3 colors.
Yes.
I'll send you guys the Amazon link. It's a great water bottle.
Boom.
Keeps things quite cool. Although Frank has a nice water bottle.
I'm going to lose it or break it eventually.
Oh my God. Our peeps lineup for today is 1, Bert Gummer or Goomer, as I like to say.
Gooms.
The Goom, he's the
My
bean.
spirit animal.
The most consistent thing about the Trimmers franchise, portrayed by
Michael Gross.
Michael Gross, thank you, versus everyone's favorite dad, John McClane,
Of old Die Hard.
Die Hard fame.
All right.
Well, the character Die Hard, the character in Die Hard.
Come up to the roof.
He's not a real person.
No.
Have some laughs.
Fictional character.
Yes. Let's hit it. What's our first predicament?
Our first one would be, who would be a better on-screen replacement for the music video for Doja Cat in Best Friend?
I have actually seen this music video since you introduced us to it.
That's my best friend.
This is our podcast setup song. Although, Danny, you're slipping. Where was it today?
Yeah, you know what? I don't think you
We
played it the
set up
last
the
2 times,
podcast,
man.
Goodness.
and then it showed up.
I can't put it on now. We'll get flagged.
Well, it showed up now to balance out the universe. It was
Yeah.
like, you missed it earlier. Here
Wow,
it
how
is.
weird.
How strange.
Look at that. So who would be a better on-screen replacement? We're talking about the music video portrayal for the music video in Best Friend for Doja Cat's character.
Well, I don't know if John McClane would be in a music video. I feel like Burt Gummer would be if he could get some money out of it. And
Yeah,
he was
if
like,
he had gone into the part where of worldwide celebrity,
Yeah.
like building his brand,
And they could have Tremors in the Best
yeah,
Friend video.
exactly. It'd be Trimmers involved in the music video.
have a couple like real shiny like Desert Eagles.
Yeah.
Yes. He's got more rap music video energy.
Yeah,
Whereas John McClane seems a bit too
straightforward.
gruff. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm not.
I could
Acid
see
wash jeans,
Yeah.
dad.
I could see Michael Gross and or Burt Gummer having a best friend. I can't see John McClane really having a best friend.
Well, I mean, Samuel L. Jackson, man.
Oh, it was Samuel L. Jackson. Darn.
Or, he's always got a buddy in every movie.
Yeah. Who was the original cop? The cop from Family? No.
Family Matters,
Matters,
isn't it?
right? Yeah.
I never remember his name.
Sorry, man.
But that guy also plays a cop in Family Matters, right? Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a connected
Same universe, really.
Is that 2 podcasts in a row that we talk about Family Matters?
It
Yes,
is.
it is.
Yeah.
It's weird.
There's a weird synchronicity going on in the universe. And then later it's what's his face? It's Justin Long is his buddy. When we get to the later really bad diehards.
He's come a long way from Galaxy Quest.
I gotta be honest, I've never seen that.
Long way.
Is it bad? Is that Die Hard 4 with a Vengeance or
Yeah, it's no 3's with the Vengeance.
Live free or die harder.
Live Free or Die Hard? And then
Dude, that
Harper-
guy throws a car at a helicopter.
Yeah,
in that
that's
movie.
the one I'm thinking.
Well, that's
of,
where
yeah.
it really and it's what is it? It's a bit on The Office where Michael Scott, when he has that second job, he's working at the call center. He's like, yeah, the problem with Die Hard is that in the first one, John McClane's just a cop. But in the next one, he's driving cars and helicopters. It totally ruins the believability. It's like the one moment in the whole show where Michael's like cool. Everyone's just like
It's
listening
like,
to him.
man, you should do movie
yeah,
reviews.
you should do movie reviews. Yeah. How funny.
What's so captivating?
He's so cool
I like
when he's not
captivating
the
things.
boss. Then when he's a boss, he's awful. Let's just do The Office. But anyway,
Yes.
yeah, I think this has to be the Goom,
Yeah.
right?
I gotta be honest, I was voting for the Goon before we even went into it. I honestly think he's got the upper hand on this next one too.
Oh shoot! Okay, give it to us. What is it?
Who could man the grill better? My opening argument. He wears those tactical like safari vests, dude. So many pockets for so many accessories.
Yeah.
You could have a bunch of different spices and stuff.
John McClane.
Have a little thing of garlic butter.
To be honest, though, I'm sure Burt Gummer has a tactical vest.
No, he's talking about.
I'm talking
Burt Gummer.
about.
Oh,
Burt
I'm
Gummer.
sorry. I thought we were saying like John McClane would have the tactical vest for that.
No, he would have like
John
his
McClane-
spatula taped to the back
I
of
was
his
gonna say
shirt.
John McClane didn't have shoes.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'd like to think that John McClane could whip up some fire on the grill. He is a New York City cop, though.
Yeah.
And
Maybe not much grilling
not a lot of
experience.
grilling.
He's
in
probably
New
just
York
like
City.
buying hot dogs from carts, buying
Right.
a slice at the joint.
Yeah.
He's like living in some dingy apartment by himself because his wife's left him.
If anything, John was invited down to the barbecue not knowing that he was going to have to man the grill. And he's like, come down to the barbecue. We'll have a few laughs. And now he's just stuck with a bunch of smoke in his face, just burning the hell out of some hamburgers.
Although I will say this, I feel like Burt Gummer is definitely a propane man with propane accessories.
I don't know. I think
know.
Burt
He's got
Gummer-
some really
Yeah.
classic pre-ban weapons in his collection,
I
David.
was also gonna say
true.
he looks like he's a rolling coal kind of guy.
yeah, I
think
could.
so?
I think
Oh,
he'd be
yeah.
rolling on coal, man.
Then I give this my undying approval.
I mean, it's definitely Burt Gummer.
He's got the space for it.
Yeah, he's like from Nevada.
He probably makes his own coal.
Yeah, he probably he's one of those guys who's really into smoking meat and
Yeah.
has
Yes.
this whole system exactly at this time.
Probably even
It's
like
gonna
a
be
dry
perfectly-
aging room for his
Yeah.
meats. You know.
Although we don't really see any of that, and we see his layout of his house pretty well. If anything, we just know that he's crazy about blowing stuff up.
Well, most of the time he's on the road killing graboids and the like, eating those MREs.
But even before graboids, he was out hunting,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What hunter doesn't eat his own kill?
Definitely not Burt Gummer.
Not
He's
Burt Gummer.
eating that meat.
He is. He's grilling it up.
Grill up a graboid.
Simples.
Simple.
Easy.
Well, Burt Gummer versus
Our reigning champ, and last episode it was
we just figured this out.
It
Yeah.
was Tiger Woods who won on
my God.
who he beat out Lex Luthor on
Which
who
I'm
would be a
glad.
better game show host. So now we have Tiger Woods, not a tiger in the woods. Not fake Tiger Woods from It's Always Sunny. Real Tiger Woods going against the Goom himself, Burt Gummer.
I'm so glad we're past Dallas and Lex Luthor.
That's the game of Dallas.
Who is more likely to have starred in a better movie than The Conjuring 3?
Burt
Burt
Gummer.
Gummer.
Yeah.
Well, no. Burt Gummer's not going to star in a movie.
Are we talking about Michael Gross?
Well, we're talking about Burt Gummer. We're
Right.
not talking about Michael Gross. Oh. You know what I mean? We're talking about the character Burt Gummer. Is he going to be in a movie that's better than Conjuring 3? I don't know about that. But is Tiger Woods going to be in a movie better than Conjuring 3? I also don't know about
Well,
that.
okay. In the Tremors movies, they do like a man versus wild kind of thing with Burt Gummy. So I'm sure he could be on some kind of documentary about himself.
So
you know?
maybe a
That's exactly
documentary.
what I was thinking.
But if we're counting documentaries, then we got to count like a ESPN 30 for 30 sort of situation.
Yeah, Tiger
which-
Woods has got a pretty interesting situation.
He's got a pretty interesting life. Like if we're throwing documentaries in the mix, I think it might be Tiger Woods.
But is it more interesting than fighting prehistoric monsters and being the only one on Earth to have done it successfully?
that's a good point. But
cheating on your wife is like one thing,
But Tiger's also one of the greatest of all times in his sport. Like
that's true.
In the Trimmers universe, who's more famous, like Michael Jordan or Burt Gummer?
Probably Michael Jordan still.
Probably. Of course, golf's not as cool as basketball. I don't know. How do you feel about this, Frank?
Well, you know where my heart lies.
I'd rather go with Burt.
We're
Old
Burt
Gooms.
Gummer.
I'm pretty biased here. Yeah.
I'm always for old Gooms.
I've got the in my heart.
I mean, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I just I guess I don't even need to. No, you know what? I won't give him the benefit of the doubt.
You know what?
Those
If we're
last four
talking,
Trimmers movies suck.
about the quality of the movie, I
Yeah.
feel like watching the biopic of Burt Gummer's life versus watching Tiger Woods' life, although it would have its crazy twists and turns and drama, Burt Gummer would be the more entertaining one to watch.
Well, it wouldn't even be a biopic though. It would literally have to be a documentary because they're starring in it.
True.
So it's like a bunch of people.
And we get to figure out what happens between him and Reva McEntire.
They didn't write it in.
Things happen.
She left. She's living with her sister or something, isn't it? Is that what happened?
Something.
I mean, if you guys want to go for it, kudos to you.
This is a tough one. We
tough?
also have the option golf style to mulligan and go with another predict.
I'm okay with giving it to Burt Gummer. He just gets a dirty victory is all. He gets a 2 out of 3, but that's enough.
He'll take it, man.
That's all you need.
His execution is always perfect. Sometimes he gets swallowed by a graboid first, but he always
Only
pulls
when
it
he's
off in
not
the end.
given the necessary prior.
Which is every time.
Yep.
Here he comes, gooping on out of that graboid. Burt Gummer, new Peeps and Predicts champ. Long may he reign.
Yes.
Long may he reign.
He's like Batman.
It's so exciting to be excited about a Peeps and Predicts champion.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to be Burt Gummer for Halloween.
Let's all be Burt Gummer for Halloween.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Just have like graboid goop on me and my like tactical vest with like a Cubs hat. Works.
Yeah.
Super easy Halloween costume,
Right?
actually.
Easy peasy.
You could even get some like pumpkin guts to be like graboid guts.
Yes. A little bit of food dye in there.
Yeah.
Maybe
Good
even
to go.
like tape like a little like fun noodle and make it look like a graboid.
Or just hide yourself in a little trash can, just like in a
It was
metal barrel.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into Oscar the Grouch territory. Well, folks, that was delightful. David, any parting words?
You know, thank your paws. Thank your dad.
I'm going to have to insert that in there.
Yeah, perfect. I'd love that. That's it. Contact us.
Hit us up at uninformedmoviereviews@gmail.com or check out David's beautiful posts on Instagram at uninformedmoviereviews, where he does some stories, he does some posts. Sometimes we do some polls. Hit us up. Give us some suggestions. More content coming soon. Check out our CLE for The Conjuring 3, which we hated.
Yeah. Dad, just go watch the CLE for Spiral. It's a lot better too, I think.
Yeah, it is. Go watch A
better
Quiet
video.
Place Part 2.
I mean, you did a great job on the edit, David.
Yep.
I just think that one came out really well.
Oh, it was.
I think
Yeah,
that
it
was
was.
a good episode, man.
We're going to be having some more episodes coming up with some cool content. So check back here throughout the summer. We'll be here for you, even though school's done.